welcome to the 13th episode of The Window to Dubai.
Thanks for having me, William.
Yes, I'm here with Mona from Mompreneurs.
Mompreneurs,
sorry. Sorry, that's my fault. You were actually the first person that I spoke to about the show, and who would think that 13 episodes later, here we are. I mean, we tried to coordinate, but there was, your schedule, my schedule, and it just didn't end up working out. These microphones held us back 1 month.
I'm here finally.
Yeah, it was amazing. Actually, I think I told you we were going to do the original show as like a group conversation, and so I think it worked out better because you get to talk more about your story and your background. So it all worked out.
Yeah.
So I want to start with, you kind of told me that you originally came in 1999 to Dubai. So you started there and then you went to France and you kind of came back. So can you tell that whole journey of like what it's like to be in Dubai in 1999? Because I'm sure it's completely different than what we see today.
Very different. And I mean, there was a 10 years gap between the time I came here and then I went to France in 2009. So I came to study here and I did my bachelor in computer science. I did my master immediately in international business, and I started working in advertising agencies from a local company to a regional company. So my brand was Salam Studio and Stores, which is at Wafi. At that time, there were no Harvey Nichols or there were no big department stores. So Salam was the one. And I got a lot of experience working on the rebranding and all of these luxury brands, and it was fascinating for me. So I worked as an advertising agency, and client was Salam. Then I moved to an international agency, Publicis Graphics, and I worked on clients such as Nestle, from packaging to TV commercials. I love the world of advertising. You know, it's like you see something that comes alive. From packaging, you're working on the packaging and you see it on the shelves. Or you work on TVC and then you're watching a movie, you see it in front of you. So absolutely love it. And while working at Publicis, I always had this dream of living somewhere else and doing my master in another country. So I went to France. I checked a couple of universities. I chose Seram, and now it's called Schema Business School. And I did my strategic tourism management in 2009 as well. While I was planning to move to France, I met my husband. So he came with me. It all worked out at the end. So we went. He did his master as well. For 2 years we were in France. We came back. He also has advertising and marketing background. So we both started our own agency, Polar Bay Creative. While we were in France, we launched our own company in France as well, Fraise Blanche, which is white strawberry. People ask me white strawberry, I say because orange and apple were taken.
It's a good answer. That's a good answer. It's a very truthful answer,
Orange was a telecom company and people were actually asking us because we were having it as a case study at the university. Like my husband was also teaching for a while at the university. So every time people were asking like, why Fraise Blanche? Why white strawberry? Or like because orange and apple were taken. And I had a completely different experience, which I'm going to share with you, when we launched the business in Europe, in France. We came back in Dubai. I was already pregnant, and we launched Polar Bay Creative, which is basically our second company. And I gave birth in the same year as well. I realized that as an expat, our families are not here. It's a different role that you have as a mother, that you are not necessarily, and no matter how many books I read, you still feel that like you need that support group. So we launched Momsouk as a community for moms, and I realized there are so many mom entrepreneurs for multiple reasons. Maternity leave is like 40 days, or we're all expats here, so you have that idea or product back home that you don't have it here. So there is a huge community of mompreneurs. And then we launched Mompreneurs Middle East in 2013. So 2010 Fraise Blanche, 2011 Polar Bay Creative, 2012 Momsouk, and 2013 Mompreneurs Middle East.
Wow, it's a lot of launching companies.
And the baby in between, and 2015 the second baby. So this has been my journey.
And so you said there was a story about kind of starting a business in France versus here. You wanted to share?
Sure. So when we decided to launch a business in France, I always say that we were in our living room in our pajamas, €100, and online, 1 hour later, we were an entrepreneur. It was that easy. Like you're a solopreneur, so you cannot necessarily hire someone. But for a lot of people to start and to work legally, that's enough. Like you don't need to hire someone, you don't need an office, you don't need all of these different things that, the red tape that you have to go through basically. So we became an entrepreneur and we could legally test the idea basically it was really fast and convenient. But then that support group for entrepreneurs, especially as an expat in France, was missing.
Yeah.
But in Dubai, it's other way around. So it takes a lot of time for an entrepreneur to set up a business.
Yeah.
Maybe for an international company, the investment is nothing, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, and you're not paying taxes, so it's really interesting
Yeah.
for them. But for an entrepreneur to pay for the rent and pay for the license, etc., it stops a lot of people
Yeah.
to actually go through that.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of them that we know, they go to markets, etc. They don't necessarily register their business legally, but on the other hand, you have such a huge support group here that makes it all possible.
Yeah. I like to think that Dubai is not a place, is great of an opportunity. It's not a true startup place. You have to have some success or some financial kind of backing before you can really start here. Do you agree? Or
So I always tell people again that, I would not register our business for Momsuk. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Like, even for Mompreneurs, initially, the idea was like, okay, how am I going to turn this into a business? Because we already have a business concept, an idea that we knew it would work. Like advertising agency.
Yeah.
It's a traditional business.
Yeah.
I know all the companies need it, and I know it's something that I'm good at. So I would go through the red tape and licensing, etc.,
Yeah.
to establish an advertising agency. And because I had that, and because the activities that were in that license gave me allow me to have the other businesses under the same umbrella, I launched different business ideas.
Yeah.
But if I just had the Momsuk idea, it would probably die. If I had just Mompreneurs Middle East, it would probably die. And I always like when we're on a panel or there are discussions, I say how many ideas just die because we are not sure if it's going to work or not, and we don't want to go through that investment. So I agree with you that traditional business or certain businesses that we know definitely it's going to work, it's perfect for that. But a lot of new ideas, honestly, they just die because they don't want to go through that phase.
Yeah. And so we talked about kind of you're working directly with mothers that are becoming entrepreneurs or already entrepreneurs. What do you think is the biggest thing that they need when they come to you? What is it that they're looking for as far as like a resource, or what do they need the most?
There are a lot of things, to be honest with you, William, but I think that support group is the main thing that they need, and something to know that it is possible. Like having access to all of these mentors, coaches, training. So they come with an idea, but then like, okay, what is next? How can I make it happen? And a lot of times, for example, the people that they see outside are single guys, as an example, who started an app and now he's a millionaire, but he's working like 18 hours a day. Yeah. As a mom, like, I don't have that option. I cannot work 18 hours a day. I cannot sleep at the office. There, I have other priorities as well. So basically, we have created this tribe and community of women who actually support each other. So we play a part, of course. We have an entrepreneurship course, we have events, we put them, but they also learn from each other. So it is so rewarding for me to see that like they partner up, they go out, they create their own masterminds group, and I believe that support group and knowing that, because entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey, right?
Yes.
Especially when starting out.
Yes,
so knowing that like there's somebody else who is in the exact same place, who is also confused, who is also overwhelmed, who is also struggling, I think that is something that is very important to them.
Yes. And what's the course look like? Is it a 2-day thing? Is it a 1 month? What does the course kind of entail?
So after launching 4 businesses, we made so many mistakes, William. We made so many mistakes that I can make it. I think I probably can write a book about it. And I would say that I had 2 master degrees and a bachelor. It's not that like I was not educated. I had like 8 years of work experience before launching my business. So I thought, I know it all and it's the right time to launch a business. But then you launch a business and realize that actually what I read in the books, that Disney case study that we did when we were doing the master, it's not really relevant to a startup. It's a completely different world. What you're reading as a theory in all of those books. And now this is the discussion that I have with universities on like how many entrepreneurs you have as professors at the university. Of course you're teaching entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship is not a theory. It's like someone who had, it's not just like marketing and financials. How many of the professors at the universities, they have actually launched businesses, and they know the difficulties and the challenges. So we made so many mistakes, which made us lose a lot of time, energy, and money. And in 2014, we were like, that's it. we were about to die as in terms of a business. We looked around after 3 years. A lot of people who started with us did not exist anymore. The statistics say that 9 out of 10 startups fail within the first 3 years. 67% of them are profitable. So there is something wrong here. And then we put everything, all of our learnings in the past 4 years, launching businesses, making mistakes, into this course, which starts from business model canvas and business planning to marketing, digital marketing, traditional marketing, the why and foundation of your business. Is this the right idea for you? Are you supposed to be an entrepreneur? Like, we have tests, etc., for them as an entrepreneur to understand, is it for them for them or not? Like today I had in my bootcamp an employee who has been in the corporate world for like 15 years. She was like, I'm not sure if entrepreneurship is for me, because also when if that identity doesn't shift from an employee to an entrepreneur, you're just gonna be your own boss.
Yeah.
Right? You still you don't have a job, you just own a job.
You're self-employed, but
exactly, but
you're not employing others yet. You're not really taking that step to build a team and develop a business. It's just you.
And become an entrepreneur. Exactly. Yeah. And so we put everything to financial, something that a lot of entrepreneurs ignore, and we made it so simple for them. We give them templates, and I have people, for us the sweet spot is 0 to 5 years, and our people who are just starting out. Or I had one entrepreneur who has been in business for 3 years. She has like 15 employees. She has an accountant, and she came to me and said, Mona, finally after 3 years I can question my accountant. Now finally I can go through my P&L, my income statement, my balance sheet, and ask him like, why did this happen? How did this happen? The accountant doesn't like it much, but I always tell them that with clarity comes power. So you come from the place of power, you can start asking questions from the agencies, from your accountants, and also how to do fundraising. So one of the modules also is how to prepare your pitch deck, the difference between seed funding, Series A, Series B, angel investors, VCs, and so this is all the modules that we have within the course.
And you're actually actively taking this online as well. Right now it's been mostly in person, but you're...
So since 2014, it was an in-person training in terms of 2 months. And they would take the course every week, Monday or Wednesday morning or in the evening. We digitalized the course last year. So now it comes in the form of a digital course. They can take all the learnings immediately. They will have access to everything. And then we do boot camps once in a while, 2-day boot camp. They have gone through the training. We come and we sit down. We do everything in a class.
And do you think that's going to be the future of it, more online, or you want to keep the base of kind of the in-person?
Definitely it has to be online. Definitely for the scalability. The key word is scalability. So if you want the business to be scalable, it has to be digital. Because there are only a certain number of people that you can teach in terms of in a classroom. But the digital gives access to everyone. And this was as per the demand that we have from the market as well. So I had ladies from Jordan, from Saudi, who were like, can we just come take the course in 3-4 days and go? And then it made me realize that actually they want access to all of this information. And I took personally a lot of courses in the US or in Canada. And it's so convenient for me because I put the kids in bed and 10 p.m. I can go watch one of the videos. And last year when we launched it, one of the ladies was telling me, I watched one of the videos 10 times.
Yeah.
Like 10 times. She said, like every time I had that aha moment, and then finally she was taking notes. So it gives them that flexibility, accessibility, and they can listen to all of this as many times as they want.
I will share a small secret with you. I built my digital marketing company on YouTube, watching YouTube videos. Yes, I was always a really smart kind of business development guy. But when I wanted to develop my own digital marketing company, I went to YouTube and I watched how to build pay-per-click ads. And I printed out cards and told everybody I had a marketing company. So I definitely believe that, the online portion and having a video and kind of that online class, there's a lot of people that I would never go to a classroom and say that I need it. But I think that if there was a class for entrepreneurs, I probably would take it. So I think you're going down like the right direction with that.
And the boot camp is, I know also people still like that human touch and discussions and sitting together. So we are trying to balance between the two. Even the boot camp that we had, actually it was yesterday and today, we told people like, okay, we learned all of this, we had the discussions, you can always go back, watch the videos as well. They know that it's not the end. Like they know that all of these are also available somewhere, and they have lifetime access to it. So anytime that they want, they can go and take listen and watch and learn more. And the beauty of the digital course is that you can always update the content as well. So like Facebook ads or algorithms have changed. So here is your new video. So creating that tribe and community online is something that it was our mission last year.
Yeah, and so you focus a lot on the business development, the digital marketing. You kind of pull it all together in one thing to where someone from A to Z can start a company?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything from planning, financials, marketing, fundraising. We cover basically everything that they need to know. And then we have private Facebook group. If they have questions, they can ask all of their questions. And we have 3 large events apart from the bootcamp, which is very much focused on the business side of it. We have 3 large events in Dubai as well that brings the community together. So we have Mompreneurs Forum, Financial Freedom, which is coming up in November. Global Mentoring Walk, which is a global initiative by Vital Voices in the US, and we organize a chapter in Dubai. So 2019 will be the 4th year that we're doing it. So we match mentors and mentees and they walk together. And we just finished the Mompreneurs Forum, Freedom of Choice in May. So these are the 3 large events that we have that brings the community together as well.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram stories. You were giving out awards, and
it
seemed like a really cool event.
It was awesome. Like, to be honest, I was telling the group today as well. At some point I was like, why am I doing this? Because there was a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work. So just like a week before the event, I was like, why am I doing this? You know, why am I adding all of these bits and pieces, and you have to get permission from the government, and you have to do this, prepare a speaker. I'm like, why am I putting myself in this position? But then the day came, it feels like you throw a big party and you invited all of your friends. So we had speakers, we had mentors, we had a mentoring session, we had awards, we had a pitch competition, and many activities during the day. So we had music, live painting, chair yoga. It was like, people say that the word that I got, it felt like home.
Yeah.
So it was not only focused on business. Definitely we had very serious discussions and mentoring, but it was really bringing the community together. And people were not leaving. Like 7:30 p.m. we were like,
okay, you gotta go.
It's done.
Yeah. It seems like there would just be a very organic network that also gets created through this. Kind of like it reminds me of, like, you know, when you go to like a major university and there's the alumni, and there tends to be that post-graduation network as well, where they are part of the class and they kind of support each other and pull each other up. It seems like that would organically happen.
And someone today in the class actually was saying that, okay, why do you think somebody will listen to me if there are like tens and thousands of other people talking about the same topic? So the answer to her also is that, first of all, you have to make sure that there is a need. So if everybody is talking about the same thing and you feel that like people have heard enough about that, as part of your market research, but also like people who join our community, I always tell them, welcome to the family. How can you create that tribe? Because people want to belong to somewhere. They want to belong. They want to belong to a group. They want to know that they are part of something. So how can we as entrepreneurs create that tribe, create that support group for entrepreneurs? And for us, that niche that we have are mom entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that one of the things I would recommend is you should really tell your story more. I think that you should create some video content around how, like, just like what we just did. I think that it would be really powerful for other mothers to see it and want to be more a part of it, to know that it's coming from that organic place. You know, I think that storytelling is what's getting missed right now on social media. A lot of people are creating cool videos and good content, but they're not telling who, what, where, and most importantly, why they're doing it. And I think it would be really powerful for you.
Thanks for telling me this, because like I sometimes feel that people are bored now, you know, from hearing it. But I'm glad that at least I still have an audience who's interested.
I think that especially women that are thinking about it, you have that story, you have that background, you've done it, you've had 2 children now, you've started multiple businesses, and now you're helping other women do it. It's a very organic, authentic story, and I think it would only help you.
Thank you. I'll do that more often. One thing I want to tell entrepreneurs is that make sure you have a very strong why when you're starting a business. And then why is beyond financial reasons, because at some point, even when you get to those financials and targets, that sense of fulfillment. So the way I define success is that sense of fulfillment. It's that inner feeling. It's not the targets, it's not the external, because at some point in 2013 we had a lot of things, like we got a lot of media exposure, we had multiple businesses. From outside it felt that we have made it, but like that sense of fulfillment was missing. So when I focus on like what is my driving force, what is my mission in life, and then we have this strong why of empowered mothers raise empowered leaders. This is beyond me and my business and myself as an entrepreneur. It's really the times it gets tough, and I never sugarcoat it for people. I tell them entrepreneurship is tough. It's really difficult, but it's also very rewarding. But those days that you could start questioning yourself and you doubt your mission and you start like thinking, why am I doing this? You remember your why. You remember why you started and why you're there, and that keeps you going.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. Like for me, one of the reasons why I love being a marketing company is I've always been better at helping other people. And so my entire business is helping you be successful, helping you promote yourself. And indirectly, I make money from that.
Exactly, yeah.
But when I focus on helping you and I get really good at it,
Exactly, there you go.
I end up making more money indirectly.
There you go.
When I'm of service,
And I also, it's a paradigm shift even in our course. I said, instead of saying I'm selling, see how many people are you helping. Of course, it's business, it's non-for-profit. It's not a charity, it's a business. You have to make money, but don't think that you're just selling to them. Think about, how am I helping this person? For example, for our course, if they're paying certain amount, I know that they will not make many mistakes that would, cost them a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So I know that we're actually helping them. It's not just selling. So that's a paradigm shift in the way we look at things as well. It's not how many people am I selling to, it's like how many people am I helping.
I like that. I've never used that, but I like that. I'm going to steal that. I'm sorry.
I hope it's recorded.
You're going to see that on my Instagram. It's not how many people I'm selling, it's how many people I'm helping.
I hope you have recorded this one.
You want to shout out your maybe Instagram and where people can find you online and get enrolled if they're interested?
Sure. So the company social media is Mompreneurs ME, and the website is mompreneursme.com. And I personally talk about, I have a workshop called You Can Have It All, which is more about finding that balance and harmony in life. And you can follow me on monatavassoli.com, on social media, Mona Tavassoli.
Awesome. That was a great episode. You did great. Thank you so much.
Thanks
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Really fun. Thank you.